Don't have much fuel left in these side tanks. I guess we'll keep them around anyway. So now, let's just shove that aside. We're definitely going to want to keep this, though. So there's that. So if we want to intersect it over here, what we're going to want to do is get our orbit to reach that. And what that means is we're going to get the highest point of our orbit to reach there, which means our apoapsis, which means we want to burn on the opposite side of that. Because wherever we burn, that's effectively going to become our periapsis. So we are going to want to burn somewhere around here. We are going to want to burn prograde. Whoops. Oh, I think... Well, that was annoying. I think at some point we're intersecting the moon, which is sort of getting in the way or making things a little tricksy. There we go. Somewhere around here, and then you can see the closest approach. What we can do to tune this a little bit better is we can improve when we produce the maneuver, because right now we're not doing it at quite the sweet spot. So if I slide it over now, I can see, there we go. So we want to get our new apoapsis to be lined up with the periapsis there. And if you use the mouse wheel, you can make tiny adjustments, although it's still, like, frustratingly intense. Oh, right, because of timing. Yes, no. Yes, we're not going to necessarily intersect there. That's true. Oh, that's a shame, though. There we go. We need to get... It would be ideal if we did that, because it would mean our relative motion would be okay. Can I scroll on this to change the time? No. I can use the maneuver editor in here to, like, tune this a little bit easier, and I think I might have to for my own sanity, just because fiddling with the little buttons is really annoying. So if I use this, I can much more precisely change the time by, say, like, 10 seconds, which has a pretty significant impact over here. Something like this, and then give us a little bit more prograde burn. No, like, it's such a small little change. That's where we're going to be. That's where it's going to be. So we actually have to go sooner, right? Yes, we have to go sooner because it's going too far away. Now there's multiple orbits as well. Oh, that's true. We got to think about timing for this. Okay, here's what I can do. I don't know how long this is going to be in system, actually. I really should have checked on that. Because what I can do is I can set my apoapsis there. And then, when we're here, we can burn prograde or retrograde to change how long it'll take us for us to orbit again. The problem is, will we have enough time to do that before this passes by? And that's actually, I don't know. I don't think so, because I think this is going to be on this particular orbit. Ooh. Yeah, we are going to be too late. So I probably should have done this before this entered into the system. That's weird. We lost the encounter entirely? Oh, is it not set as a target? No, it's not. That's why it's messing things up. There we go. So here we will get an encounter there. Now the fact that it's purple, I think it'll mean on the second pass. But we will get an encounter here that will be separated by 1,000 kilometers, but we can just adjust that. Since, like, now we're talking about, like, microsecond little shifts, and there's really a limit to the precision of my particular maneuver here. Most likely what I will do... When you double-click, it clears your target. So don't click too fast. There. Something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll tune things after that. That's going to be good enough for now, and then we'll tune this. Okay, good. Execute. It's only 1,000 kilometers. It's nothing. And yeah, the other thing is to correct some of this stuff, we will have to burn a lot of delta V. One of the biggest problems we will have will be matching velocity with the target. Because it's probably flying through this system. Well, it's flying through quickly enough that it's going to exit the Kerbal system. You know what? Hold on. Hang on. Ah, shit. I shouldn't have gotten rid of the maneuver completely. Should I intersect with it way over here? Basically try to leave the system in the same way? I think that's actually much better, because I don't think it's practical. It's going to cost too much delta V. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to leave the system alongside of the asteroid. It'll increase the chance that we match velocity a lot better. That's quite good, but I'm thinking even later than this. That's better, because we're going to leave no matter what. And basically, we'll have to re-encounter Kerbal later. We're going to catch it next year. So yeah, really, it's sort of more of a standard departure. There we go. We'll still have to make an adjustment, but this means we will be encountering on a much closer velocity. A relative speed will be 630 meters per second difference over here. So again, if we leave later... Basically, I want to encounter it as close as possible over here. There you go, 560 meters per second separation. I think that's different speed and 200 kilometers apart. I think this is what I want to do. So here we'll have to burn about 500 delta V to match velocities with them. But I think that's probably as good as I can get it. Shouldn't be too hard to do without leaving Kerbal. Well, worst case scenario, or when we meet them, we'll evaluate at that point how much delta we've got left. We are going to have to like produce a lot of fuel and things. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and tell the system to go and execute this. I mean, all it's going to do is face the maneuver node and then burn for the required amount of time. So again, I like to automate things that are super simple and obvious, but kind of annoying. So like this. Yeah, better than living on Duna for 4 years. Plus, these guys aren't alone. They've got company. Valentina, Magli, and Sean over here. They get to hang out with each other. Bob was alone for 5 years on Duna. I could have brought more science, because you can science from an asteroid, but this is not a science mission. We are going to be able to take a surface sample. We'll be able to get an EVA and maybe a crew report. I'm not sure. Bob's laughing his ass off at the KSC. That's right. So we have about 45 minutes left to go. At the very least, we should be able to encounter the asteroid. Depending on the burn times, and the asteroids are very heavy. The Class A's, I think, can be up to 10 tons. The Class B's, I think, can be a fair bit heavier than that. So that'll determine how long it's going to take us to push it. We should have effectively unlimited fuel. But the speed of our burn will be pretty poor, so it'll take a long time to make orbital corrections. All right, here we go with our burn. I'm going to burn for another 22 seconds. There will be a stage here, which I guess I have to stage this one manually. That's going to affect our burn time, which is a lot longer, so our calculations may be slightly off. Still, it's not going to make a massive amount of difference in the end. But yeah, I forgot during the this I'm going to have to manually stage again. I do like the way this looks, though. It's quite cool. Let's take a look at the map. So our orbit is growing, indeed. The other thing I tend to do at this point is I often cancel the maneuver and just go into like manual mode. I keep it burning. And then just stop it manually when we get close enough. But hands off. Trust in the computer. Trust the computer. Trust the computer. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to be that. So I could do another corrective burn partway through, just to tweak it a little bit. That might help to close our encounter. But the biggest thing will be, we don't need to encounter it super closely at first. The big thing will be a 560 meter per second burn to balance out our orbits. And that's going to be partially done on this stage and partially done on the next one. Let's do another quick save here. And I think I'm just going to wait at this point. Yeah, I think I'm just going to like fast forward to here. Always quick save before your time warp, because sometimes you click on the wrong line or something. Weird things can happen. So where's the rock? There's the rock. It's going much faster than we are. So we want to switch to target mode is what we're going to want to do. And when we get to the target, we're going to want to burn negative relative velocity. So we're going to want to burn in a direction that will slow us relative to the target, which is the exact same thing as burning in such a way that will cause us to enter the exact same orbit. If we are next to the target and we are moving at a speed of 0 relative to it, that means clearly we're in exactly the same orbit along the way. But we're going to wait until we get closer before we do that. I'm just waiting for the rotation to finish. Again, this is easy to do even if you didn't have smart ASS, right? If we turn that off, set the target mode on the nav ball, target mode over here, turn on SAS, and hopefully have either a good enough pilot or a good enough probe core that you can go retrograde. What we're doing is we're burning retrograde relative to the target. That's all we're doing here. So, but I like these buttons. That's exactly what we're doing here. I should not manually time warp because I'm probably going to miss. I'm going to get closer over to here. That's in 2 days. You can see the other guys moving much faster than we are. Okay, time to encounter is in 2 hours, 40 minutes. And I mean, I could have and probably should have. It might not be too late, really. Try to get a closer encounter here, like this, which actually isn't not adding very much delta V, which is pretty impressive. And we don't get an encounter at all? That's weird. So this will get us, I believe, closer. Separation 320 as opposed to, yeah, 900. So that'll make our life a little bit better if we do that. So add maneuver. It's so odd. Why does it go away? I need to turn off the option again to do it closer. That looks okay. Execute next node. So I think this is adding a little bit of relative motion between us, but it's going to get a little closer before we go and kill it. Because we really want to be as close as possible before we match orbit, or match speeds. But in practice, what will happen is I'll get close to matching speed, but then burn towards the target, and then again match speed and hit the brakes. Things will be a lot easier once we dump this bit too, because we'll be able to rotate a lot easier and make pretty drastic maneuver changes. So I think this is going to be fine. Now, do I have to tell this grabber? I have to arm it, right? Yeah. I have to remember to do that before, we smash directly into the target. Math is boring. Think about it as a number magic, and then it becomes awesome. That's right. It is number magic. It's arithmancy. That's one of the subjects in Harry Potter, right? Arithmancy. There we go. All right, good stuff. So we're going to go back to planning to burn retrograde relative velocity to the target. That's what this is. So we have to burn off, well, I think the speed differential will be, no, it's about the same as it is now. So we have to burn almost 600 delta V just to match orbits with them, which we will be working. And most of it is going to be burning, what angle is that? I don't remember. Mostly away from the target, actually. Yeah, okay. So our encounter is in 2 hours. So another quick save. I'm going to move up. Yeah, see here, when you're close to these lines, sometimes the warp, if I were to do this, it would actually warp me onto the yellow one in 1 year, 39 days. So that would be a horrible misclick, which is there to try to destroy your life. So you need to be on the blue, which is hard. So I'm going to go ahead and manually do it, which means there's a good chance I'll overshoot, which would be terrible. Terrible. Suppose I could have, right-clicked on these to get them to stick. So encounter in 20 minutes. So as close as possible, ideally, because it'll make it easier to match orbits. I think that's going to be fine. So I'm just going to burn negative retrograde, and all I'm going to do is try to kill the relative velocity. That's not the button. There we go. Between myself and the target. So I'm just here because we will have to stage, and I want to be able to see that. Can I see the target? I don't know where it is. It should be... I don't know. Stage... and light. So just trying to drop this as much as possible. And if we watch, what's happening as I'm dropping it, our two orbits are going to start to line up more and more and more. Did I, like, lose? No. It's not predicting a encounter for us, but whatever. Oh, probably because it's going to be outside of curve and escape is going to be the closest encounter point. Which is fine. When do we escape? Oh, just over a day. Yeah, you can tell the thrust, because this is a more efficient engine, right? This is the Poodle. But it does not thrust quite as hard, so the burn's a lot longer here. I say there's probably an encounter once we leave the system, but I'm not seeing it. Now we're still going to get closer here, so what I think I'm going to do is avoid losing all of my speed. Here, I'm going to kill that. Because we're going to get closer and closer over here. Now, one of us is going to go slightly faster than the other, and I don't know who it is. Looks like this one here. So this can actually pass in front of me. But it's got a little ways to catch up still. So I think I'm still feeling okay about... I'm going to time warp a little. Yeah, you can see it doing that. Do I want to do something else? At some point, I will have to burn directly towards it. Might not be a bad time to do a little bit of that now. It's going to add a little bit of relative velocity next to each other, but again, I think it's going to be good overall. So the pink bit here is pointing directly towards your target, which isn't necessarily the optimal burn in any way, but, you know, close enough. There it is. No, that's actually ascending, descending node. We're going to do that. Do I want to burn parallel? No, that's not what I want. Okay, I think I'm going to let this go up a little more, and be ready to burn negative relative velocity when we get a little closer. And we'll try to get as close as possible, drop our relative movement to basically nothing. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do, once this gets lower, let's see here. I got to remember, that's the retrograde, this is the retrograde. So if I go, that's what I'm going to do. Instead of using this, I'm going to start doing my manual thing. Where if you pull the prograde, you push the retrograde. So if I go and steer this way and burn here, I'm going to kill some of the relative velocity between us, but I'm going to push... Why are you wobbling back? I should push the retrograde towards the facing away from the marker. Which means not only am I slowing relative to them, but I'm making it so I'm going towards. Because on the other side, the prograde marker is being pulled towards the face towards the target icon. So that's what's happening here. So this should get us getting closer and closer together, because I'm basically, my movement is directly towards this right now. Now, because the distance is involved, burning directly towards the target isn't necessarily the closest way to get the closest approach, but it's going to be good enough. So I'm going to warp ahead a little bit more. And... yeah, turning's quite slow. I can turn on the RCS, but, I mean, I've got plenty of time. Do I actually want to burn prograde towards this? No, I don't think so. So once again, I'm just going to go and push the retrograde marker a little bit more on top of the facing away from. Now we'll keep having to make these adjustments just because the orbital mechanics mean that one will drift from the other. There we go. And if you look, at some point these will start to split just a little bit. Oh, I do have a better burn time mod, which is giving us some stats. It's telling me that in 4 minutes we're going to be within 0.8 kilometers of each other, which is quite handy. And since time's not a factor, again, what I'm going to do is burn mostly retrograde to kill the speed difference between us, but meanwhile keep the retrograde marker on top of the away from the target marker, which will keep meaning that I'm moving towards the target. Now I'll be within 0.1 kilometers in 4 minutes. That's a helpful little extra stat. And now that we're getting closer and our orbits are really matching, we're not really going to drift one from the other too much. So I can probably just lock to retrograde and be ready to kill our relative velocity. We're going to encounter in about a minute and a half. So, there's my target. I'm not going to collide. I'm actually going to miss it by 100 meters. And I'm only moving at a relative 23 meters per second. It's going to be easy to kill the speed difference between each other. So I'm going to time warp a wee bit here. And turn to here. And again, I'm going to burn mostly retrograde, but also pushing this on. I'm going to keep a little bit of relative speed. But now I'm going more and more and more directly towards the target. Alright, I'm just going to burn directly retrograde to try to kill as much speed as possible. But I'm only moving towards it at 10 meters per second here. That's it. That's nothing. Now I'm only moving towards it 2.6 meters per second. And again, I'm moving not directly towards it. So I'm just going to turn over here. Like so. I'm just going to try to keep the retrograde marker on this, while continuing to decrease the relative speed just a scooch. I still need to move towards it, obviously. Like that. 1 meter per second, which is actually a great approach speed. So what I'm going to do now is turn to be parallel plus. This should make me face towards it. No, I think it's going to face away from it. Parallel negative. We're going to arm this, and we're going to turn on the RCS. That'll help us turn around a lot faster, while also give us a few more options for maneuvering. I can't believe we've still got a full tank of gas on this thing. This has been ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. So we've armed the grabber, rotated around. We've got about a minute before we actually... Parallel's not what I want. I want target plus. Whoops. Target center of mass. That actually broke my normal targeting mode. What's going on here? That has definitely confused the smartass. That's not ideal. What the shit? This is not a normal target anymore. Control from here. Go forward. Yeah, go to target plus and grab it. Except I can't. What happened? I think I might just reload to before I click target center of mass, which apparently has broken everything. Okay, the other thing is the RCS is not enough to, like, move this stuff anymore. Alright, that is an grab attempt. It broke. I do have a target. I wonder if I can untarget and then reset. Double click to clear my target. Maybe that works better from here. Double click to clear my target. Well, that's fine. Oh, I can't say prograde. All right, yeah, just stabilize. No problem. I broke the UI. There it is. Okay. Activate the grabber. Turn to target plus. I mean, I would have been able to correct it anyway, but it would have meant, like, just letting it drift back, reorientate, and go back in. I'm just saving us about, like, 5 minutes of fiddling around with... Because I would have wanted to drift far enough away and then to go back in. So now at this point, with the RCS on, all we're wanting to do is make sure that our prograde is lined up on top of our target marker, while also being lined up everywhere. Actually, I think what we're going to do is turn that off. Whoopsie-daisy. Latch. Latch, damn you. Did I just bounce off? Latch! There we go! I think I bounced off. Now, there's a way... Free pivot. There we go. I think with free pivot, you can reorientate yourself so that you face the center of mass. I haven't done this before. So how can I figure out where the center of mass is? I wonder. There we go. Lock. So now I need to bring this end up. Use more duct tape. There's a way to make sure it's straight. But there's no UI that's like... No, not that way, this way. And that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Sort of center of mass-ish, maybe? Maybe this side down a little bit. Which would probably be that. So let's turn on the SAS for a second. Actually, let's just time warp for a sec. Free pivot. Lock. Looks mostly okay. Oh. So presumably that's the target. Ah. So, if I actually do this correctly, so I probably want to bring the pink thing into the middle. There we go. And lock. Almost. So assuming that's true, visually it doesn't look like we're lined up at the center of mass, but I think you're maybe right, and I think that is accurate. We're pretty damn close. I guess I can keep this up. There we go. Free pivot. And lock. Seems okay. All right. So let's deploy drill. Watch it not reach. Okay, I was like, this. I thought it was pretty long in the thing. So presumably this is working. No surface impact. You totally have surface impact. Oh, okay. No, it just didn't count yet. Oh, fuck, the temperature's going up. Oh, I think that's... Okay, thermal efficiency. I think you want it to get up to 500. So, presumably, now these are slowly filling with ore, and they are... Okay, I just hope this doesn't overheat.